Hey everyone, welcome back to another Wealthsimple portfolio update video. I know it has been a minute since the last time I've made a video. My apologies for that. But anyways, the portfolio is currently sitting at $206,231.94 on a total all-time gain of $66,468.44. And the portfolio has been hanging around all-time high levels for the past couple weeks now. If I jump over to the past month performance, we can see I'm up $9,000 over the past month, but actually a few days ago, the portfolio was at like 214,000. I don't know why it's not reflecting here, but trust me, I was at 214,000 and some change, and that is the all-time high that the portfolio has ever been on. And as you can see, we're down about $8,000 from there. The market kind of dropped a little bit towards the end of the week, and crypto has fallen a bit into the weekend some more as well. But since it has been like 6 months since my last video, let's check out the 3-month performance. Up about $26,200 in the past 3 months. Over the last 6 months, apparently I'm down $3,000 right now, which makes sense because earlier in the year, I think my portfolio peaked at about $208,000, $9,000, somewhere around there. And then the year to date, I'm up about $1,700. And lastly, the past year, up a huge $45,400. That's pretty insane to look at. If you want to support the channel for like literally absolutely free, you can sign up for Wealthsimple using my link in the description or with the code on screen to receive $25 when you just deposit $1 when opening and funding your first Wealthsimple account ever. Again, link in the description or that code on screen. Heading into my TFSA, it's sitting at $72,544.30, and this account is up $18,000 or 33% all time. That is pretty satisfying, being a nice even number there. But anyways, the TFSA is just been crushing it lately. I mean, all-time highs here in the TFSA, getting close to 75,000 here. I do believe I was at about 74,000 earlier this week in this account. But let's check out the past week here. We can see we're down $1,100 on the week, but we did peak. Yep, as we can see there, $74,700 on July 30th. And on the past month, the account is up $2,800 or 4%. The 3-month is up $11,164 or about 18%. Year to date, the TFSA is up $3,500. In the past year, it is up $19,600 or 37%. Since it has been a minute since the last time I made a video, I figured let's go ahead and break down all the holdings in all my accounts as we go through them. So let's start with the TFSA here. First position in here is Affirm, 23 shares. I'm down about 13% or just about $250 on that position. Next up, AMD. I have been loving AMD. I bought so much AMD. I think I bought like maybe 25 shares of AMD back in April when this thing was sitting at like $77 or something, and now not Nvidia, now AMD is at about 170, and it did peak at like 185 this week USD. So this position in my TFSA is up 60%, or about $2,000 USD total return. So let's check out AMD really quick. As you can see, if I go to the past year, yeah, this thing dropped to like 78 bucks. I was buying super heavy here in early April when there was a bunch of tariff fear. I was loading the boat on AMD, and I can probably actually scroll down here and see some of the buys I made. April 8th, I bought like $450 worth in both my RRSP and TFSA combined. April 4th, I bought another like 700 combined worth in both accounts. Even March 10th, I was buying more AMD. I probably bought like 1 share each right there for 200 US combined. And even this dates back to late February. I don't remember the last time I made a video, but I probably didn't have these AMD buys last time I made a video. But as you can see, I was absolutely loading the boat here on AMD. And let me tell you, it did pay off because my 19 shares of my RRSP are up 75% all time, and the 31 shares of my TFSA are up 60% all time. And I think AMD has a lot of room to go. This could easily be a $200 stock, like within weeks, in my opinion. Obviously, this is not financial advice, and I think long term, this thing could easily pump up to like 400, 500 a share. But I'm no expert at all. Don't take my word. That's just how I feel about this company. I think it's got tons of upside. Next stock here in my TFSA is CrowdStrike. I have 4 shares, up 135%. I do believe the last time I was making videos, I did tell everybody that I did take profits on this stock, and I sold about half my shares. But if I didn't, then yeah, I ended up taking profit on CrowdStrike. Next up, a bit of a loser for me in the TFSA is Enphase. I have 8.7 shares and I'm down 80% on this position, or negative like $1,100 US. Not much to really say about that one. Next position is FBTC, which is a Bitcoin ETF. I've got about 43 shares, or about 2,200 Canadian in this ETF in my TFSA. And I'm up only about 12% on this. I just kind of buy a few dollars worth of this every single day that the market's open. And I likely won't sell any of this Bitcoin ETF for like at least 4 years. Next position is Cloudflare. I've got 16 shares, or about $3,200 US worth. And I'm up a pretty nice 71% here on Cloudflare. I am looking to potentially take some profits out on this one once I see this return go over 100%. That's just kind of a rule I have with my individual stocks, that when I see it go up about 100%, I do like to take some off the top, sell it, and reallocate some of that money back into the S&P 500, just for a bit of a risk de-escalation per se. Next position, Palantir. This stock absolutely crushed it for me the past year. I only have 7 shares left in this account. I took a bunch of profits on Palantir when it was like $100 a share. Obviously it's like $154 US a share now, and I'm up 923% here in my TFSA on Palantir. I do have more Palantir in my RRSP, but I'm not up 900% in my RRSP on Palantir. I think I'm up like maybe 300-400%. We'll see later. Next position, one of my weekly buys, QQC.F. I've got about 20 shares, or about 3,700 Canadian dollars worth. This position's only up about 15%. Next is Shopify. I've got 20 shares of Shopify here in my TFSA. I am down on Shopify in this account because I bought these shares of Shopify way back in the end, near the end of 2021, when Shopify was at like all-time peaks, and it just has not come back to those levels yet, but I believe it will. I believe it'll surpass those previous all-time highs and climb even further, so that's why I have been holding my Shopify in this account. And I'm still holding my 20 shares of Tesla here in my TFSA. Tesla's up 92% for me here in the TFSA. I don't really have a lot to say about Tesla. I mean, it seems like every week Elon is tweeting something and Tesla is falling 10%. But, you know, I believe that they're going to have some pretty superior products in the future. They're full self-driving, they're Optimus robots. I am quite bullish on Tesla in the long term, and I do believe that there's still some upside to go on that. Next, I have some Trade Desk, about $3,000 US worth, and I'm up 18%. This one, TTD had a pretty sharp drop recently, I'm pretty sure. Maybe a few months ago. Let's go to the past year. Yeah, as you can see, like February, it was trading for like $120 US and had a big dump here. Big dump, dumped all the way down to like 45. So it dropped easily like 60% there, I think. But it is slowly starting to come back. I do believe this thing will come back even stronger than before. All right, getting near the end of my positions here in my TFSA, I have VFV. This is one of my biggest positions by far. $14,200 worth of VFV in the TFSA, up a nice 36%. And speaking of VFV, I also have VOO in this account. Only 3 shares are about $1,700 US, and this position is up only 2%. You might be wondering, like, why do I have a USD position of VOO here in my TFSA? Well, it's actually quite simple. Some of the stocks that I've taken profits on were in US dollars, and when I sold them, I got US dollar currency. So instead of converting it back to Canadian and losing money on conversion fees, I just kept it in US dollars and just reallocated it into the American version of, well, the original VOO. So that's why I have VOO, a little bit of VOO here in the TFSA. Another big position in the TFSA is XEQT. I've got about $14,600 worth. This was a position I was buying quite regularly, but I have switched to VFE instead just for a little bit more risk on. But anyways, I am up about 15% there on my XEQT. And finally, the last position in my TFSA is XYZ or Block. I have only 8 shares, and this position's down 51%. Not really a lot to say about that. All right, my next account is my RRSP, and just like my TFSA, the RRSP is sitting at all-time highs of $62,712.96, and this account is up $22,500 or 56%. Checking out the last week, as you can see, we did drop here. The account did peak at about $63,500, which would have been the all-time high in my RRSP right there. And yeah, we're down about $1,200 here on the week. Over the past month, the account is up $1,800. The past 3 months, it's up $7,000. Year to date, the account is up about $1,500. And the last year, it is up $14,000 or about 29%. And as for the positions in the RRSP here, obviously AMD, which I talked about earlier, I have 19 shares in this account, up a pretty nice 74.9%. Next, again, I did talk about this earlier as well, I have FBTC, which is a Bitcoin ETF, only about $1,600 worth. I just buy a few dollars here and there in this account, and this position is up 13%. Again, this is just something I'm going to dollar cost average into over time and hold for at least 4 years. And another thing I'm going to be holding for quite a long time in here as well is HXQ, which is a NASDAQ 100 ETF. I've got 94 shares, or about 8,500 Canadian dollars worth, and this position is up a pretty nice 80%. Next up, of course, we got Palantir. I did talk about this position earlier as well. I have 13 shares of Palantir in this account, worth about $2,000. And oh, this is actually up more than I thought in this account. I thought it was only up about 300% in this account, but Palantir up 442% in this account. Obviously, I took a bunch of profits on Palantir in this account as well. So pretty much all my Palantir holdings is just house money at this point. All the profits I took out were like my initial investment plus some. I probably sold it like when I was up triple the amount or something. So I did take some pretty nice profits on Palantir earlier this year, which I feel pretty good about. Next up is PayPal, only 5 shares worth about $335. The position is down 38%, and it's down about $200. This is something I've considered selling and actually pumping all this money into AMD instead, because I think AMD's got much more upside than PayPal. I don't know, I just haven't been too bullish on PayPal recently. It just seems like it's continually beaten down. It just seems like there might be a better opportunity for the money I have remaining in this position, even though I'm down 38%. It is quite a hard thing to do, to cut a position, especially like losing one. But we'll see what happens. Don't be surprised if this position is liquidated sometime in the future. Next, I got SCHD. This is a position I buy very regularly here in the RRSP. I've got 271 shares worth about $7,100, and this position's only up 1%. SCHD's been pretty flat for like a couple of years. Let's pull up the chart actually. Well, check out the past 1 year. Yeah, like this thing over the past year is down 2%. Now keep in mind the dividend yield in this ETF is like 4%. I think it's actually right down here, 3.89%. So a decent yield, but it's been relatively flat even since like 2021. But you know, in my opinion, I think this thing's consolidating. I think it'll have some upside eventually. Next up, I got more Shopify here in the RRSP, but unlike the TFSA, I'm up 83% on these Shopify shares. I bought these Shopify shares well after it crashed from its all-time high. So I believe I bought these Shopify shares in 2022, so I've made a pretty good return here on these ones. I'm pretty happy with that. Again, I think it's got more upside though. Again, I have Tesla here in the RRSP. I've got 16.5 shares. Not quite as many shares in this account as my TFSA, and my position's only up about 16% here on Tesla in this account. And once again, another duplicate holding here in the RRSP, TTD. I love TTD if you couldn't tell. I've got 11 shares, or about almost $1,000 worth. This position is up 56%. And I also have VOO. This is one of my biggest positions. I think it is actually my biggest position here in my RRSP. And I've got 30 shares, or about $17.3K worth of VOO in my RRSP. And I'm up about 24.3% on that. And lastly, I have XYZ or Block Inc., only 2 shares. This is a very minor position in this account, and the position is down 28.3%. Again, if you want to support the channel, be sure to subscribe and leave a like down below. It helps immensely with me getting some of that YouTube money so I can make more of these videos. And as well, if you want to support the channel, be sure to sign up using my link for Wealthsimple or use the code on screen for $25 free if you just sign up and use my referral link or code. Just got to deposit $1 and you'll receive $25 absolutely free. The next account here is my personal non-registered account. This account is sitting at $16,608.39, and the account is up $7,060 or 73.94%. And if you were wondering why I have a non-registered account, well, this is actually from a few years ago, I believe 2022 and partially 2023. I had my TFSA and RRSP maxed at those times. So I was just funneling any extra money I had over those 14, 15 months into this account. So that is why I have money in here. And it's actually, the account is only one position. The only position I have here in the account is VFV, and the position is up 62%. I did have some other holdings in here, but I ended up just liquidating them and converting it to VFV. And actually, any dividends I do get in this account, I do not redistribute it back into VFV. I actually take that money out and get it into my registered accounts, because there might be a time where I do have to sell off this account in order to fund my TFSA and RRSP, but so far I've been pretty good at saving up money, as much money as I can outside of this account to put into my TFSA and RRSP, but there might be a day where it might make sense to sell off some of this and move it over to a registered account. But yeah, let's also check out the last week performance here. It was up to almost 17,000 at one point, and it was down about $300 on the week. The account is up about $300 or 2% on the month. And over the 3-month, the account is up $1,500 or about 10%. Year to date, the account is up $500 or 3%. In the 1 year, it is up almost $3,000 or 21%. All right, next up, we got one of my favorite accounts to cover here, my crypto account. It is sitting at $37,644.83 on a total gain of just over $22,000 or 144%. Crazy returns. I mean, just earlier this week, the all-time return on this account was like 170%, but Bitcoin has been falling quite heavily the past few days. As you can see, let's jump to just the 24-hour performance. The account just in 24 hours is down almost $1,000 or 2%. And over the past week, the account is down $3,100 or minus 7.7%. But yeah, still in the month, we still are up on the month about $4,300 or 13%. The 3-month, the account is up almost $7,000 or 22%. And the past year, it is up $8,600 or almost 30%. But I mean, obviously this is a crypto account, so things are very volatile in this account. Things can swing like $10,000 within a couple weeks in this account, but you know, at the same time, it can also go up $10,000, $20,000 in a couple weeks. So that's just kind of what you get with crypto. And I do believe we are still in a bull market with Bitcoin, and I do believe there still could be an alt season at some point later this year. So I'm still bullish for crypto this year, and I'm looking to take some profits on a bunch of altcoins later this year if I can. Let's jump into all the holdings I have here in the crypto account, starting with Cardano. I've got about almost $900 worth of Cardano here, up 143% or about $500 total. Next up, Bitcoin, my biggest crypto holding for sure. Keep in mind, I do have like maybe $4,000 to $5,000 worth of Bitcoin in those ETFs within my TFSA and RRSP, but I am sitting at about $17,700 worth of Bitcoin here in the crypto account, and I'm up 160% or almost $11,000 on my Bitcoin in this account. And I do believe, I want to say I was getting pretty close to a 200% gain on Bitcoin just like a week ago, or within this past week, honestly. Let's check out Bitcoin here on the chart. Let's go to the past month. As you can see here, it was trading 164,000 Canadian dollars here, almost a few times earlier in July there, but it has dipped quite heavily. We're sitting at 155,000, down almost 10,000 Canadian dollars on Bitcoin in just a couple weeks. My next position is Cody, just a very small position here, $143, but I am down quite heavily on this altcoin, down 71%. Next, I got a little bit of Dogecoin, $116 worth. I'm up 132% on this position. Next up, Polkadot, I have about $1,100 worth. Again, I'm down quite heavily on this position, down 47%. And of course, I do have Ethereum. I'm at about $10,000 worth of Ethereum, or 2.11 Ethereum total. It does say my total return is 60%, but this is actually not correct. I am closer to 100% return on Ethereum here, because when I did transfer some Ethereum over to Wealthsimple, it took that Ethereum that I deposited at that time as like a buy. So like my average cost basis was well over 100%. And then as soon as I made this big deposit of Ethereum, it just absolutely tanked my all-time return percentage for some reason. So I am up more than it seems on this position of Ethereum. And I do think Ethereum could still have a very strong year. The rest of my positions here in the crypto account are just altcoins. I just have a very small position of KNC, about $50 worth, down 48%. Not really anything I care about. Next, I have Chainlink. I love Chainlink. I wish I bought more of this back in 2022 when I started buying it. I've got about $3,300 worth of Chainlink, up 64%. At one point, this was up well over 100%. I kind of wish I took some profits, but I think it's going to come back. Next, at this point, this is a very small position of Mana or Decentraland, $180 worth. This crypto is down 76%. Same story with Polygon here. I was so bullish on Polygon. I thought this thing would have done a lot better by now, but this has kind of been a pretty big loser for me in my crypto wallet here. So Polygon, I've got just under $1,000 worth, and this position's down like $2,800 or 75%. That's kind of what you get with altcoins sometimes, man. You'll win big on some, like I'm winning on Chainlink here, and then you're gonna lose on some like Polygon. And of course, I did win pretty nice here on Solana. I've taken a bunch of profits on Solana. I was buying this back in 2022 when it was like under $10, and now it's $218, $300 at one point earlier this year. Anyways, $2,800 of Solana, up 270%. And lastly, I have a small position of XRP, just under 200 Canadian dollars, and I'm up 460%. Man, oh man, do I wish I bought more XRP back when I bought these 50 XRP coins. All right, now my very last account here is my cash account. I just have a cash position in here earning me some interest. I currently have $17,019.22 in this account. It's never a portfolio update video without me jumping over to my portfolio tracking spreadsheet. And you might notice it looks a bit different since my last video. I pretty much converted this whole thing to dark mode just because I have sensitive eyes and light mode on anything just bothers my eyes a bunch. So I wanted to convert this to dark mode to help my eyes out a little bit. But anyways, I am sitting at $206,465.44%. And I'm on a total all-time return here of $66,545.44, or 47.56% all time. Now, we just put in a new month the other day. So on August 1st, 2025, the portfolio was sitting at $207,281.22. And as you can see here, it was climbing from the lows back in April. Back in April, during that like whole tariff thing, my portfolio was down to $150,000. So just seeing my portfolio in like 3-4 months here went from 150,000 back up to like 214,000 at the peak this week. That is a crazy thing to see. But as we can see here, back in February this year, I was at another all-time high. We dropped down and we pumped right back up. Let's check out some of the charts here on the individual accounts. As we can see, the TFSA is thriving, hitting new all-time highs on August 1st there. and as well with the with the RRSP hitting a new all-time high in that account. It's going to be really cool to see the TFSA hit $100,000. It's going to take probably a couple years to get to that. I mean, maybe longer depending how the market does, or maybe less depending how the market does, but it's going to be a really nice milestone to hit $100,000 in the TFSA. It's something I'm really striving to do. But anyways, moving along here, we have the closed FHSA, the non-registered account. We can see this line here is the deposit. So I have been taking money out of this account as time has gone on, as I've needed to deposit it into registered accounts. So we are sitting still pretty nice here in this account. And crypto account, we were at 38,200 just the other day. We're down $1,000 since then. We're still not quite as high as we were in December. We hit 45,000 in this account back in December. But as you can see here, I did take a pretty nice chunk of change out of here when I took some profits on Bitcoin back in December. But I do believe the account at one point was about 41,000, but we have dropped since then. And lastly, I have just my savings account here, just a pretty decent chunk of cash ready to be deployed and ready to be used as an emergency fund if I ever have to as well. Some other changes I've made to the spreadsheet was I separated all of my accounts here into their own like pages. It just makes everything a lot easier to see. That is my dividend tab. We'll get into that in a minute. But it just makes everything easier to see, and it also allows me to track everything by like return. So as you can see here, I can go ahead and track Z to A, and we can sort everything based on what the like total return is. So as you can see here, Tesla has returned to me the most money all time in this account, so it's going to sort it here at the top. Alternatively, we can also flip that around and have like my losers display at the top. We can come in here and go to the return percentage to see which things have given me the best return. So Palantir in my TFSA has given me 917%. This is just something I nerded out over one day. just a small thing that makes everything, you know, a little bit nicer here. And I know a lot of you have been wanting to use my spreadsheet, but it broke and I just have not had time to fix it. I don't know if I ever will be able to fix it, or if I'll ever be able to upload this one, because there's a lot of things in the back end that are just like only things I could figure out because I'm the one who made this from scratch. I'm not a pro on Excel by all means, so I do have a really hard time setting this up for the public to use. I hope you can understand, and I do apologize for that. But yeah, feel free to pause at any point here. I'm going to go through all of my accounts if you want to check out any of my individual holdings all in the same place. You can go ahead and pause here at any point. Here is my RRSP, and here is my non-registered account. Obviously, only one holding in here. My cash account, and lastly, my crypto account here. Jumping over to my dividend/interest tab, we're sitting at almost $1,200 worth of interest/dividends received in 2025 so far. I don't think we're gonna break 2024, just because a lot of 2024 was interest when the interest rates were like 4.5% to 5%. So I was getting a pretty penny worth of interest on my cash at that point. I don't think we're gonna beat that in 2025. We're gonna come close, probably about $1,800 if I had to guess. But coming down here, we did receive $152 of the dividends here in the TFSA in July. And the last time I received dividends in this account was April, about $70 worth. My RRSP, I received $161 worth of dividends in July. Again, didn't receive any dividends in this account until back in March of $150. The non-registered account, I received just a pretty small dividend of $40 in July. And lastly here, a small interest payment on August 1st of $40. But as you can see here, like 2024, I was receiving 105, 112, 101, 102, sorry, like $100 a month worth of interest. And I think I had less cash in my cash account at that time of receiving like over double the amount of interest. So that alone could be a reason why my dividend total for 2025 comes in lower than 2024. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for this portfolio update video. I hope you've all enjoyed. Again, sorry for the huge delay in between videos. I'm going to try and be more consistent here. It has been my like busy season with work, but it is slowly dwindling away, so I should be able to make more videos. in the future here. But again, thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button down below. Let's try and break like 50 likes on this video. And yeah, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.